If you've been around my work at all, then you know how important the study of Kodokan Judo is to me. It's influenced my martial arts, it's influenced my approach to Kobudo, and it's influenced how I teach. In this episode, we're going to be talking about a specific lane of judo, and I'm going to introduce you to someone who has a heritage and a lineage of judo going back to something very interesting called Kosen Judo. Kosen is very misunderstood in the West. People think it's a different type of judo and a different style, and while there is some differences in the methodology of Kosen, it really comes down to it being a different set of rules and where this judo was trained at, mostly at universities. But in this conversation, I'm going to introduce you to one of my instructors, Joichi Hirao. He's going to be breaking down for us not only his history and his own path in Kosen Judo, but he's going to be talking to us about the work that he's doing, the training, the students that he has who are on the stage for the World Championship in Judo. And we're going to really understand what Kosen Judo is and what it means and kind of demystify it a bit. That's the goal here for this episode. Kosen Judo and the rules are incredible and but not so openly available to people unless they go and they look for it and they go to these universities and they train it and they commit to these sets of rules to understand them. So I hope you get something from this conversation. I really look forward to hearing what you take away from this episode, and I'm very happy to introduce to you one of my instructors and someone who's influencing my training right now very much, Joichi Hirao Sensei. Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you back to this episode of Shugyo. And today I have a very special guest, Joichi Hirao Sensei. And I want to first just thank you, Joichi Sensei, for taking the time. We just spent an hour working together and training, and to be able to even offer more of your time to share your story with both myself and our community who listen to this podcast and watch this channel. I just want to share my gratitude with you. So thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Joichi Sensei, I'd like to, first of all, there's quite a bit to talk about here because, as you know, Kosen Judo is the topic of our conversation. You have a very unique story and a very interesting story coming up as a young man in judo, literally in your family. And before we get into some of the deep conversation around Kosen Judo, can you go into a bit about your personal history and what led you to where you are as a judoka?
Yes, sure. I started judo when I was 6 years old in this dojo. My grandfather invited sensei from Kyoto Police. His name is Yoji Kurimura. Now he's 8 dance. Then he's 91 years old.
Wow.
Now he's not teaching because too old. He retires for teaching 4 years ago. Before that, he still did laundry. I know he still do like hitori uchikomi, like alone uchikomi, practice and push up. He's very strong because he's from Busen. You know Busen?
I do, but could you explain it for the listeners who don't?
Okay. Busen was there was a school, martial arts school in Kyoto. That was a very big organization of Japanese Budo, not just judo. They had karate, kendo, sumo. I think they had almost all martial arts in Japan. But after World Second War, so we are banned. So now there's no organizations. But before my sensei, uh, he trained uh, there before. So we don't have not so much people like this. I think, and for judo wise, what different from his judo has more newaza. He teach newaza has with good osaekomi.
Was that because of the style that was taught at Busan?
Yes, style of Busen is more like intense. I heard what the difference from Kodokan. Kodokan has more like they have a good technique with a good explanation. But Busen people more like Shugyo, your podcast, like practice, 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 very intense.
Right.
Yeah. Then so I learned judo from Kurimura Sensei when I was 15 years old. After that, I go to Kyoto High School. Then I trained there 3 years. Then after that, I go to Chuo University. That's Okano, Isao Okano. He's a gold medalist in Tokyo Olympic before first Tokyo Olympic. He was not there, but he's my senpai. Then after that, I go to company judo team. My coach was Hidehiko Yoshida Sensei. Then I've been there for 4 years. Then after that, I went to Canada for national team for sparring partner of Antoine Barrafortier, who was a bronze medal in London Olympic in minus 81 category. I was there for I was in Canada for 5 years. Then I came back to Japan to my dojo. Then I'm teaching judo in my dojo, and I'm doing Gatame Kosen Judo online too.
But where in that experience, Joichi Sensei, would you say you were able to get the most influence for what your judo is like now? Among those different teachers and all those different influences, is it sort of a mixture of all of them? Or are there particular learning experiences where you can look back and say, that's what I want to be a continuation of? Like what would you say about that?
I think Kurimura Sensei, because he taught me judo like almost 10 years. Even my judo, I'm very good for newaza. Tachiwaza to newaza. Transition. Not just newaza, like tachiwaza to newaza. This one came from Kurimura Sensei. When I practice with Sensei, if I don't go to newaza after throwing, he's very angry. He hit me with shinai.
So people understand that tachiwaza that Sensei is referencing is like standing techniques, and the newaza are the ground techniques. But please go ahead.
Yeah, I think this one also very specific for Busen Judo. So they don't care tachiwaza or newaza. Always they have to continue their teaching. They were teaching like this.
I was interested to hear when, as you were growing, and then you were able to have that reference of judo, not only from your father and not only from these incredible instructors, but then you end up in Canada and you
Mm.
see judo in Canada, which is, I would imagine, is a very big trajectory of the sport of judo over many generations on the other side of the world, many influences, many changes, many adaptations. And you go from it's, I find it really fascinating that you go from a place like the influence of the Busen style of judo to now you're in Canada studying and training as a sparring partner with an Olympic medalist. What were the major differences that you witnessed, and maybe some of the challenges that you faced in that change?
Yeah, good question. For Olympic judo, so not so much difference between Japanese training and Canadian training because they compete the same Olympic judo style. Mm. But Canadian has good technique. I mean, they can do like all technique very good. But Japanese very specific. Just they have 2 or 3 techniques very good, very specific. Yeah, very specific, very good technique. That's what I feel. For example, some Japanese judoka has a good seoinage. But this guy say he can do uchimata. But actually they can do, but he means he can't have very good uchimata. But Canadians say like they can do all technique. That's very, I mean, very different. Also, we have a lot of uchikomi Japanese, but Canadians they don't do so much. They do like almost all technique. Like they change their drill like once a month and once a month. But Japanese just do uh, uchikomi. Uchikomi is repetition, like 10 minutes uchikomi, then after that, randori. But Canadians, they have drills, like 1 hour. 1 hour they change. Then after that, they do randori. That's very different from our culture. Our style is more shugyo, like fight by ourselves. Canadian and foreigner, I feel like coach or sensei, they decide everything, what they do, what they practice.
So when you say that you fight by yourself, meaning there's more of a self-discipline in the training, would you say more there's more of a focus on uh, your own personal expansion and becoming better as a judoka versus the group?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah, like always. That's very Japanese. Like always, like problem is in our mind. Understand?
Yeah, yeah.
But I understand Canadian. It's more judo is a sports.
Yeah, I
They
understand.
have technical coach, like mental trainer, like this. But Japan is now changing, so we becoming like this, more like Canadian or American style.
So you're saying it's more for the Japanese, it's very much a mental thing. It's very much an internal development thing where you're fighting, you're pushing your character forward.
Yeah,
Where in the West and in Canada, it was more a sport. It was a competition, and that's it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So I also understand you have been studying Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for some time as well. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. What are some of the differences, and what made you want to learn that? Was it just to gain more tactic and understanding of what the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu student is more capable of, and just to sort of expand your own skill set? Or was there something about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that appealed to you?
Mm, Actually, they are very good on the ground. But many people ask me what difference from judo, BJJ, and Kosen Judo. I think just a rule set. But like for example, judo has more tachiwaza standing technique, like 80%, 80% standing, then 20% on the ground. BJJ is opposite. So that's why they could develop good technique on the ground. So I think Kosen Judo is very between. But we don't have a like wrist lock, knee lock, like leg lock. We don't win by point. That's why technique is very different. So BJJ is good for BJJ rules. Judo is very good for judo rules. So Kosen Judo is good for Kosen Judo rule.
I don't want to skip over something here. You had mentioned right when we started that the dojo behind you, you started in as a small child. And
Yes.
I want to stop for a moment, and I'm wondering if you can say a little bit about the dojo behind you. It's just fascinating that here you are, an instructor, a champion, someone who's trained with Olympic medalists and has trained all over the world and competed all over the world, has such a rich history. And you're talking to us from the dojo that you did your first judo class in. It's just really amazing. Tell us a little bit about that dojo.
Yeah. My dojo.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dojo, like my grandfather built it when I was 6 years old. He invited Kurimura Sensei. Then we started. So this year is it's been 30 year, like 30 years anniversary for us. Like this week, one student from here, he gonna fight for World Junior Championship.
Wow.
Yeah, in Tajikistan. He is the first competitor for World Championship from this dojo.
That's exciting.
Very, very exciting. Yeah. So we have we are he's 18 years older than me.
Wow.
So when he was kid, so I train him, like I beat him. Then now he's very strong. I'm very happy. Yes.
That's wonderful. And what's his name so we can look for him and support him?
Haru Akita.
Let's change the conversation a bit over to Kosen Judo and understanding your growth as a judoka, your appeal and influence from the Busan school and style of judo. Can you explain to us a little bit about Kosen Judo and understanding that it's like school or like university, but it's a different rule set, even though it's still judo. Here in the United States, I've spoke with quite a few people about it, and they think it's a completely different style of judo, and I have to correct that and say no, it's just a different set of rules. But there is a difference. There is, and you've alluded to it quite a bit. There is a difference in the training style, more shugyo. There's a different emphasis on newaza. So could you expand on this and help us to understand better what kosen truly is?
Okay. Many people, yeah, ask me. No, yeah, I think many people misunderstand I think because of Olympic judo, now we can't touch the leg. That's why we make misunderstanding. I think they think Kosen judo is like different from Kodokan judo style. But actually, it could be Kosen. No. It could be Kodokan judo technique. Also, like judo. Originally, Kosen judo is just rule sets for university old school system before Second War. Also, Kosen judo is just team tournament. 15 people versus 15 people. So person who win can go up. But winner has to get 1本. Wazari is hikiwake draw, finish. But if the person who won with 1本, so he can go up, he can fight to second person. This person can win with 1本, then he can, if he's very strong, he can beat all people with by one person. Originally, Kosen Judo means not individual fight, a team fight. And rule set, they can grab the leg and no mate. And when they go out of the mat, they can pull. The referee can pull them.
Pulls both of them back in. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a different time length for pinning too, requirements for pin time.
Like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Now Olympic judo is 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Old school judo, when they started judo, was almost same rule as Kosen judo. I'm talking now. So university students, they don't have time to train so much. That's why they focus on newaza. So newaza, or the technique on the ground, is very easy to improve than standing technique. Because standing technique, we need a good timing, so we have to train over and over. But newaza, so we not so much. Still it's difficult, but easier to improve.
Easier to improve, but in terms of time for the competition, it's so much longer and so much, it would seem, and I'm interested to hear your opinion on the Kodokan rules versus the Kosen rules. Quite a long time in the match for Kosen versus a Kodokan judo match.
Yeah, sure. It's team tournament. Now they call Nanate Judo.
Yeah.
Seibu University Judo. Now they don't use Kosen Judo. So it's team fight. They have role. So this person could is rolled for hikiwake draw. So 8 minutes. 8 minutes, they just pull and stay, or close guard, or stay. So its time is long, but they can make a strategy. So they have role like this person, hikiwake, this person for winning, to beat like somebody.
I'm curious if you could walk us through an average class at your dojo.
My average class. So I have a standing. I have judo class and newaza class. When we do randori, we use Kosen judo rule. It means they just can get point with katame waza, like osaekomi and submissions. It's very good for Olympic judo too. Normally they focus on just tachiwaza. Tachiwaza, but of course they train newaza, but just newaza.
Yes.
Kosen Judo is good training for Olympic Judo too. Rule.
In a regular class in Newaza, you start with a warm up. How much sparring is in an average class versus how much technique do you work on? Maybe one technique or a series of 5 techniques. How have you found the best strategy to teach students so that they can become skilled?
Normally, my class, 30 minutes with gymnastics, musculation, climbing the rope, and newaza exercise like shibori. You know shibori?
Yeah.
Shibori, ebi, gyaku ebi, like this, and ashimawashi, like rotating the legs. Mostly, I think for newaza very important is abs. We shouldn't put the head on the ground. We don't make flat our body. Always.
Yeah, so like shrimp, like Ebby. So you're referencing, shrimp walk and kind of moving on the ground and then reverse shrimping, going one direction with the feet first and then with the head first, but turning the body and really pumping the abs and getting that flexibility and range in the spine for a warm up. Yeah.
I think abs is very important. Also for tachiwaza too, abs is very important to protect your body and head. When we do musculation, so I'm focusing abs. After that, we do drill 45 seconds. I change it 2 weeks each. Now we train kansetsu waza from kuzure kesa gatame and mune gatame, like this. So I change each time, but I'm focusing on osaekomi more. So
more pinning techniques.
Pinning. So we stop them, then we can do choke and submissions.
What would you recommend 1 or 2 exercises be? What are some of the most important exercises for someone who either wants to get started and begin newaza, whether that be through Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Judo, or they just want to get good on the ground, just get a basic understanding of ground movement? What would be those most important exercises that you'd recommend?
I think to understand osaekomi is very important. That's first step. Like I
How
said,
to hold someone down, the pinning techniques. Yeah.
This one is very special for us. I think much better than BJJ. They have good idea of submission to roll to use a body on the ground, but we have very good pinning. That's our special. So they should beginner and should learn this for the beginning.
The pinning techniques, and very interesting. So, Joichi Sensei, the Kosen Judo, you mentioned your teaching at your dojo. You're teaching the Kosen rules in your newaza class, and you're also working with students like myself through your program, Gatame Kosen Judo.
Yes.
And you've been working with students in different parts of the world, and not just at your dojo, which I want to talk a little bit about. Again, I want to kind of loop back to your dojo and talk about Otsu and where it is, and if someone wanted to come visit your dojo when in Japan, if they could. But we'll talk about that in a second. Tell us a little bit about the program that you're offering, Gatame Kosen Judo, and it's pretty exciting what you're doing. And tell us a little bit about it.
Okay. So First, yeah, I started black belt curriculum 3 months ago. Yes. So they can learn Kosen Judo, our Gatame online style. So why I started this? So we don't wanna forget like old school techniques like kibisu gaeshi, kuchiki daoshi, like kind of these techniques now Olympic judo they don't do, and my generation like little bit younger than my generation they cannot teach that technique. I think we will forget this kind of technique. I'm very sad. That's why I started our Gatame Kosen Judo.
What I'm hearing is that it's partly to preserve old
Mm.
school and
Yeah,
tradition
yeah.
in judo.
Also, I want to fix a misunderstanding of Kosen Judo. Our curriculum has a knowledge test too to understand the history of Kosen Judo. So Kosen Judo is not style. Kosen Judo is just rule set in old school or no, older university system. Mm. So I want to fix their misunderstanding for what they are thinking of Kosen Judo.
What are some of the goals that you have in terms of Gatame Kosen Judo is in terms of the program? Is it developing training groups like our training group? Is it to develop individual competitive students? What would you, if we were to maybe fast forward 2 years from today,
Mm.
what does Gatame Kosen Judo look like to you when it's successful?
I think I want them to get black belt, Kosen Judo black belt first. Then after that, we have 2 more curriculum to become qualified dojo. So I want to have uh, dojo someone who can teach like our style
Mm.
in the world. This one is my like a year or 2 years objective.
When someone goes to Gatame Kosen Judo and they join, when they
Mm.
go into the website, what can they expect to see?
Our curriculum is I recommend to dojo instructors who want to teach Kosen Judo. They can get like almost 100 techniques to get black belt. Also, just not for them, so it's for students. So my video has details and a very short video. I think each video is 1 minute or 2 minutes. I think longer one is less than 3 minutes. So easy to understand. And I just make just 3 important points for each techniques. So it means so instructors easy to teach, easy to remember. That's why I made the very simple explanation and a short video.
Yeah, I
I hope.
found so what you can expect are the videos are professional. They're not just shot with a camera. They're nicely done videos, and there's very clear instruction. And there's a lot of videos. You have a lot of videos there, but also live classes too, and also students can have the ability to have you review their videos. Is that correct?
Yes, review the video. Yes.
Yeah, so this is a really great opportunity for them, and I would encourage martial arts school owners out there, like just like you referenced, other instructors, to partner up with Gatame Kosen Judo and to seek you out and to, like I've done, look to you for some leadership in this, because it will not only help your judo, but it will also help your school, and it will help your curriculum. And it's very authentic, and it's incredible teaching that you offer, Joichi Sensei. So I'm very, as I said at the beginning, I can't be thankful enough for you making this available to us.
Thank you very much.
And once again, I just want to thank you for taking your time today and sharing with us the incredible story that you have and the incredible work that you're doing. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much again. Thank you, Adam Sensei.